are saddened by the fact that we did lose one person. We just learned this morning that in Centurion there was a person, a body that was washed off, and the emergency services are still there certifying the person. But we can see now we have one fatality that's related directly to the floods. But there is one person in social movement who was electrocuted, so maybe it's also partly related. Maybe it was these wires plus water. So that's the information we have at the moment. But most of the affected people are the people who live in shacks, other than the Centurion flooding of the hotel and the bridges there. But there are also secondary problems that are arising, like sinkholes. There are a number of areas where the development of sinkholes is being noticed. So that has to be monitored closely across Tshwane, but across the province as a whole. And we also activating health people to make sure that if there are secondary problems of waterborne diseases, they are there to deal with it. And Home Affairs, because some people may have lost their IDs, their SASSA cards and so on. So we want to make sure that those services can also be rendered to the people that need them. But for now, we are going around to see for ourselves what the situation is as the 3 spheres.
Minister? If you have a clarity on what transpired yesterday, the people that were rescued, especially on Zamaya Road on Banana Bridge, how many were they, and do you have a specific number, and do you also have a specific number of the people that are accommodated here?
Well, the councillors can give us the exact numbers of people in each area, but yes, we do have. And the number of people rescued in the various areas, we have a list of those, though we want to verify, because if somebody is rescued, we also need to know where were they taken to, where are they. We know some are in this, but some are in hospital, but we don't have a full figure. That when we say so many people were rescued, that we want to ensure that we can say 60 people were rescued, I'm just making an example, and then say 10 are there, 10 are there, 5 are there. So that's the verification we still need to make.
Okay. Let's do this in an orderly fashion. You'll be number 1, you'll be number 2, you'll be number 3, you'll be number 4. That will be the last round, because we don't have too much time.
Maybe if my question
you'll be the last. Thank you. You can shoot.
Just to find out from the national government if there's any long-term plan for those people that have been moved from those areas that were deemed unsafe.
Minister Alex, Minister Alex from News 24. I understand that you still need to verify numbers, but do you have perhaps an estimation of how many people have been displaced? Perhaps not only Gauteng, but how many people have been displaced in Mamelodi following this, obviously, this natural disaster?
Okay. The number of people, I think we can just get
saying
one
it's
of
over
them.
500. The councillor is saying it's over 500.
Over 500.
But that's an estimation.
That are already displaced, but the situation is getting worse. There may be more of them that are displaced. The long-term issue, I think, is not just an issue of national government. All the 3 spheres must work together, because the city of Tshwane must also have their plans about housing people, the province, the national. So I can't say there's one national plan about the long term, but there are plans about decreasing the number of people who live in shacks. In fact, before 2016, I think Tshwane had done relatively well to reduce the number of informal settlements, but now they've almost doubled again, tripled from 2016. Now we have lots of new ones. So it's an ongoing process to try and get people to safer housing. But you can't say on this date we will be done, because new ones keep cropping up.
And that's why the important element to dealing with the long-term situation is to ensure that there is law and order. Because if you look at what has been happening in Johannesburg and in Tshwane, it points to anarchy and chaos. In Ekurhuleni, since 2016, we've only had, I think, an emergence of 4 new informal settlements. But in Tshwane and Johannesburg, the number has skyrocketed. And if we're able to deal with that, we think we should be able to firstly deal with the law and order. That's why the province has got a provincial land invasion strategy. Because if you can't deal with the lawlessness, you will not be able to nip the problem in the bud, and it will continue for a very long time. So that's one of the many measures we'll be putting in place. And of course, we've got the rapid land release program to make sure that those people who qualify get land and all that. We'll continue to build houses, deal with the rental stock. So the strategy, the plan is there from the province working with the municipalities. And of course, national, through the Department of Human Settlement, because that's where money comes from, is aware of all those plans.
Number 3.
Rorisang from Citizen. I just wanted to confirm if there are any other people missing from what happened yesterday.
Well, from what we know, there is a mother of a child who's still missing. The child is there, but the mother has not been found yet. They are still looking for that. That's the only one that we know. But other young people who have homes in the neighboring townships, but who were having their own, some of them have gone back to their parental homes temporarily to move away from, instead of being located in the temporary shelters.
Number 4. That's the last one.
All right. Minister, maybe just to get it's Kylie here from ENCA, maybe just to get your reaction on this. Do you think the country do have a plan to deal with these, disasters, especially because the climate change is a big factor sometimes, and coincidentally it happens as COP25 is underway in Spain. So as a country, do we have a plan that we can say it works for us in addressing these issues?
Yes, I think the issue of climate change is a very important point you are raising, and we are planning around climate change. But I think the problematic part is the unplanned settlements, because you plan and then settlements come in that are unplanned and they are not in places that are safe. When there's flooding, they flood. So those plans that we have, I would be honest to say, they cannot respond adequately to the amount of unplanned settlements that we see, as the MEC was saying just now. So we need to deal with this matter in a multi-pronged way. How do we ensure that people, or reduce the number of people who settle in unsafe places, whilst we are planning for climate change, whilst we are trying to have sustainable and resilient residences which can withstand this kind of weather. But the shacks are very difficult because they just get put in places that nobody has planned in terms of government, but also in places where when there's flooding, they are the first to be affected. So yes, we have plans, but we also have this problem that then undermines some of the plans.
Well, we do unfortunately have to cut out of that. That is, of course, the minister there, Minister Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma there, of course, giving up an update perhaps then on the flooding that seems to be happening in and around the Gauteng area, particularly north of Johannesburg, that is particularly in the Tshwane area predominantly. We will hopefully get an update for you and give you the latest with regards to that news story. We are, of course, just after 12 o'clock.